Then come to the coniferous forests. Now coniferous forests are found in the northern hemisphere between 55 degrees to 70 degrees latitudes. So it is just somewhere in the temperate as well as the frigid zones somewhere. Okay, so coniferous, slightly cooler areas. Trees are tall and straight with needle-like leaves. Trees have soft wood which is used for making furniture, plywood, paper, matchsticks, etc. Now paper, matchsticks, okay, plywood, even cricket bats, okay, the willow tree will be there. So main trees here are again pine, fir, cedar and spruce. So that is actually all about the evergreen forest. We had the 4 different varieties. Now the deciduous forests. Now these deciduous forests are actually the forests which shed their leaves at a particular period of the year, usually in the dry season, usually in the month of summer months, April, March, okay, when we have a very little rainfall. So those dry season, all the leaves actually become dry and then they fall down. And again after the rains, and again they have in the spring season also, after winters, they have their new leaves. So tropical deciduous and temperate deciduous, again they have 2 categories in this. Again you can just understand the difference between the tropical and the temperate. Wherever there is hot and wet climate, you have this tropical deciduous forest, and where in the temperate regions you will have the temperate deciduous forest. Depends upon the rainfall. Okay, so this is actually from 100 to 200 centimeters rainfall. This forest is for 70 to 100. We have the dry and the wet deciduous also. Now tropical deciduous forests found in Asian countries with monsoon climate, so known as the monsoon forest. Now India is a country which is having a monsoon type of climate. So we see that we have the major part of India is covered by these forests only, tropical deciduous, and these are less dense and shed their leaves in dry season. Trees are medium in height and commercially valuable. Now this is very important because these trees are commercially valuable, and the main trees are teak, sal, shisham. You must have heard these words, teak, okay, shisham. We use these wood for making furniture in our houses and in the other buildings. Eucalyptus, it's a medicinal plant. Bamboo again can be used for construction purpose. Temperate deciduous forest found in cool temperate regions. Okay, so temperate is always in the cooler region. Trees have thick trunks and broad leaves. Trees shed their leaves in the autumn season, and main trees are maple, poplar, ash, birch and Douglas fir. So these are the varieties. You can learn the names of 1 or 2 trees of each type of forest. Now come to the grasslands. Now what are grasslands? Grasslands are actually the places where you have vegetation, but it's in the form of just grass only. The grass can be tall or very short in height, but again we have the 2 types of grasslands, tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. The tropical grasslands will have a taller grass, and these grasslands are used actually very beneficial for us because they are using for grazing the cattle. So tropical and temperate grasslands, again because of the difference in the temperature. Tropical grasslands are found in the tropical zones, which I told you. Grasses are very tall, trees are short and scattered. So you can see from the picture, there are grass all around. Somewhere scattered way, some trees are present, and these are very good for, or very actually helpful for the cattle, the grazing of animals, cattle grazing. Temperate grasslands located in the interior regions of the temperate belt. Rainfall varies from moderate to poor. Now as you go higher in altitude, you will find that it is the rainfall can be very less, because there can be snowfall, more of snowfall than the rainfall, because in winters they will have snowfall only instead of rainfall. Grasses are short and only a few trees like alder, willow and poplar are found. Now poplar is again a softwood tree, willow is a tree which is used for making cricket bats. Now the last vegetation type is the desert vegetation. Now as the name suggests, these vegetation will be actually found in the places which are deserts. Now found in areas with scanty rainfall. Now we have very little rainfall, below 50 or 70 centimeters. So that area is actually the desert area. Now here you know that in deserts what do you find? Only the cactus and other varieties of the these trees which are actually xerophytic plants. It supports only xerophytic plants because these plants have thick stems to store water and long roots to draw water from great depths. So you have all the different varieties of cactus and the date palms growing here. Thorny bushes and shrubs are common. Main trees are cactus, date palm, acacia. Okay. And then we have another, the last, this is the tundra vegetation, which is actually in the very cold regions. Now we had discussed about the hot regions, that was the desert vegetation, very less rainfall, very hot in temperature. The opposite is now the tundra vegetation, where it is actually found in the north of Arctic Circle. You can see the Arctic Circle is actually starting from 66 degrees north to the North Pole. Okay, so that whole area is the Arctic Circle. So found in the north of Arctic Circle, this is actually a very cold region. So plant life is very limited due to freezing conditions. Since it is they are frozen throughout, like almost for half of the year, it is all snow everywhere. So very little plant life is possible there. And so all the mosses, lichens, birch, willow and some wildflowers are found in this summer season, that too in the summer season, because winters they have only snow to be seen everywhere. So when it is slightly warm, you can have these mosses, lichens, birch, willow and some wildflowers. Now moss, you all know, you must be familiar with this moss. At some places you see the rocks, when you go to the hill stations or in the colder regions, rocks are actually covered with a green carpet, okay, which looks like a carpet. So that is actually the moss grass. Okay, so moss is actually it's a very small variety of plant which grows and covers the places which they which are very cold. Okay, in the cold climate you will see the mosses and the lichens. They are very small, short, grass like plants, but some trees like birch and willow are also visible here, but that also in the warm season or in the summer season. So we have discussed now today about all the different types of vegetation in the 5 different categories of of the evergreen, deciduous, then we had the grasslands, we had the desert vegetation, and lastly we did the tundra vegetation. So that's all from me today, and